Last season, the Auburn offense was led by true freshman quarterback Bo Nix. During the 2019 campaign, Bo Nix accounted for 2,855 yards and 23 touchdowns. Despite facing the number 2 strength of schedule, the Auburn Tigers finished the season with 9 victories and was ranked number 14 in the final Associated Press poll. Bo's 217 completions was the 5th most by a freshman quarterback coming out of the Southeastern Conference over the last 2 decades. Though Bo Nix showed flashes of brilliance during the 2019 season, Auburn's passing game struggled against the better competition. Over the past 5 years, Auburn has a record of 35 wins and only 5 losses when they rush for at least 165 yards, scoring 39 points per game. During games when held to under 165 yards rushing, Auburn has won only 7 games out of 26, scoring an average of 19 points per game. It was Auburn's lack of efficiency in their passing game against better competition that influenced Coach Gus Malzahn to make a change at offensive coordinator at the end of the 2019 regular season. He hired former Arkansas head coach Chad Morris to lead the Auburn offense. Morris spent 5 years as a collegiate offensive coordinator at Tulsa, including 4 years at Clemson. His offenses averaged 475 yards and 37 points per game. This included 297 yards passing. During games his offense was held under 165 yards rushing, they still scored 29 points per game and passed for 277 yards. The hope is that Morris can revive Auburn's passing game, leading the offense on those occasions the running game is held in check.
I'm really excited about being part of the Auburn family, and the toughness and just the drive of Auburn football, one of the top programs in the country year in and year out, and that's really excites me. Well, when you go way back and you start looking at the number of quarterbacks that we've coached and developed and the successes those guys have had, there's one thing that stands in mind is they're winners. They're winners on the field, they're winners off the field. They come from winners. Their parents are winners, and it may be that one of our quarterbacks that we've had in the past had a mom, and she had 3 jobs, and she's a winner. And so when you look at Bo, he's a winner. That's all he knows, and he comes from a winning family. And being able to observe him on the other side of the field this year, and watching his skill set and watching him develop this year was from game 1 to when we played him. You just saw progress each week. And now being here just a short 5 days that I've been around, he can't get enough of film work with me. He can't come in the office enough. He's picking my brain and just wanting to know what I see, and that's exciting because you have a quarterback that wants to be elite and is going to do what it takes to be elite.
Under the direction of offensive coordinator Chad Morris, quarterback G.J. Kinney of Tulsa had a spectacular 2010 campaign. The year before, he threw for over 2,700 yards and 22 touchdowns. Under Chad Morris, Kinney threw for 3,650 yards and 31 touchdowns. He also accumulated 561 yards on the ground and rushed for 7 touchdowns. Clemson quarterback Taj Boyd blossomed under the direction of Chad Morris. As a 3-year starter under Morris, Boyd threw for over 3,800 yards and over 30 touchdown passes 3 consecutive years in a row. In total, Boyd threw for 11,575 yards and 103 touchdown passes. He was also a dual threat quarterback, rushing for 25 touchdowns during his 3 seasons as the Clemson starting quarterback. So what kind of production should we expect Bo Nix to have under Chad Morris? Last season, Bo Nix averaged 29 pass attempts per game for 6.7 yards per pass attempt. During his 5 seasons as a collegiate offensive coordinator, Morris's pass offense averaged 37 pass attempts per game for 8.1 yards per attempt. His passing game has a much more vertical flavor. It has produced 283 pass plays of 20 yards or more over a 5-year period. In comparison, Auburn has produced only 193 such plays the past 5 years. If Nix were to average 34 pass attempts per game at 7.7 yards per attempt over a 13-game season, he would have over 3,400 yards passing next season. Stan White's senior year came under new head coach Terry Bowden, which meant a new offensive installation. White had the best season of his career in the new offense, improving from the number 84 rated passer from the season before to number 36 in 1993. He threw for over 2,000 yards and combined for 17 touchdowns as the Auburn Tigers finished the season with a perfect 11-0 record. Auburn's 1993 offense finished the season number 25 in total offense and number 18 in scoring offense. Ben Leard's career was resurrected with the arrival of Tommy Tuberville after the 1998 season. Despite missing several games due to injury, Ben Leard was the number 4 rated passer in 1999. The following season, he directed Auburn to the 2000 SEC Championship game. During his final 2 seasons as the Auburn starter and under the direction of offensive coordinator Noel Mazzoni, Leard averaged 233 yards passing in the 12 games he attempted at least 20 passes. During those 12 games with at least 20 pass attempts, Leard threw for 2,795 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. 7 of those 12 games were against ranked competition. Former Auburn quarterback Jason Campbell worked under 4 different offensive coordinators from 2001 and 2004. Though it stunted his overall growth as a quarterback, he did benefit from working under Bobby Petrino during 2002 and Al Borges during his senior season in 2004. Bobby Petrino developed Campbell into the nation's number 6 rated passer during the 2002 season, but he was not the full-time starter until after the LSU game. Campbell's pass efficiency dropped the following year after Bobby Petrino left after only 1 season on the Plains. Under Al Borges, Jason Campbell had his most prolific season as an Auburn Tiger. The senior quarterback finished 2004 as the nation's number 3 rated passer, leading Auburn to a perfect 13-0 season and an SEC championship. During his 2 seasons under Bobby Petrino and Al Borges, Jason Campbell was 18-1 as the starting quarterback. Ironically, it was Gus Malzahn who resurrected Chris Todd's collegiate career during the 2009 season. The senior quarterback was a perfect fit for Malzahn's pass offense, though a mid-season injury to his passing arm limited Todd for several games. Despite the injury, Todd finished the 2009 season with over 2,600 yards passing and 22 touchdowns, a school record at the time. He finished the 2009 campaign as the number 21 rated passer in the country. Former Clemson quarterback Taj Boyd took to social media after it was announced that Auburn hired Chad Morris to be their next offensive coordinator. Boyd predicted that Bo Nix would flourish in Morris's offense, projecting Nix to throw for 3,800 yards and 35 touchdowns. Many thought Boyd set the bar for success too high, but his crystal ball might not be too far off. Auburn averaged over 30 pass attempts per game this past season, so 35 per game for Bo Nix is not much of a stretch, especially if Morris is true to his run-pass ratio as an offensive coordinator. The key will be improving on Bo Nix's 6.7 yards per pass attempt, which should happen based on Morris's pass offense being more vertically oriented than Gus Malzahn's. Over the past 2 decades, Auburn has averaged 7.7 yards per pass attempt, so Nix improving his yards per pass attempt by at least 1 yard is not a stretch for 2020. Chad Morris will have more talent to work with on offense since his days at Clemson. Of his 4 collegiate stops, Chad Morris immediately improved the passing game in every stop but one. One of his keys to success is playing to the strengths of his personnel. At Tulsa, his running backs caught 98 passes and the tight ends registered only 6 receptions during the 2010 season. The following season at Clemson, his tight ends caught 65 passes and the running back caught only 27. At Auburn, he will have a strong mixture of running backs and tight ends to work with this upcoming season in the passing game. Playing to their strengths will make the 2020 offense more challenging to defend.